Imagine you're watching a film. A hero rises, he makes a mistake, and he finally falls. You feel fear, you feel pity. However, at the end of the movie, you finally feel relieved. Strange, right? Do you know why this happens? Over 2300 years ago, a Greek philosopher, Aristotle, explained why this happens. And his answer changed the way we understand stories today. Whether you're reading Shakespeare, binge watching on Netflix, or watching a Bollywood film, you are still living in Aristotle's world. Let's find out why. So, who was Aristotle? Aristotle was born in ancient Greece in 384 BCE. He studied under Plato and later became the teacher of Alexander the Great. Unlike Plato, who often distrusted literature and poetry, Aristotle believed literature desired a greater status. Around 335 BCE, he wrote a very short but enormously influential text named the Poetics. This text became the foundation of literary criticism. So we can think of Aristotle as the first literary critic. He systematically asked, what makes a story work? Why do audiences enjoy tragedy? What makes a good plot? Why do certain characters move us? In many ways, literary criticism began with Aristotle. What was Aristotle's big idea? It was mimesis. The first key concept, mimesis, means imitation. But Aristotle didn't mean simply copying. For him, literature imitates human action and experience. A novel isn't real life. A photo isn't real life. A play isn't real life. A film isn't real life. Yet they represent life in meaningful ways. Imagine a photograph and a painting. A photograph captures reality exactly as it is. A painting interprets reality. For Aristotle, literature is closer to the painting because it creates human experience and helps us understand ourselves. This is why literature matters. It doesn't merely entertain, it reveals the truth behind human nature. What was Aristotle's favorite genre? It was tragedy. Aristotle was particularly interested in tragedy. He defined tragedy as the imitation of serious action that evokes pity and fear. Let's break that down. Think of characters like Oedipus, Hamlet, and Macbeth. These aren't villains, nor are they perfect heroes. They are good people who make crucial mistakes. Aristotle called this mistake hamartia, but it is better understood as an error in judgment. The hero's mistake triggers a chain of events. Success turns into disaster, power turns into downfall, and hope turns into suffering. And the audience watches the entire process unfold. Catharsis. Why do we enjoy sad stories? Catharsis. Catharsis means emotional purification or release. When we watch tragedy, we experience fear and pity. We fear that similar misfortune could happen to us. We pity the suffering of the character. By experiencing these emotions through art, we achieve emotional release, and this emotional release is called catharsis. Think about the last time you watched a sad movie. Afterward, you probably felt lighter because you cried or you empathized with the character. That feeling is close to what Aristotle meant by catharsis. For Aristotle, tragedy is not harmful, it is emotionally beneficial. It helps us process human experience. Next, we come to the six elements of tragedy. Aristotle believed great tragedies contain six elements. The first element, the plot, which is the arrangement of events in the story. Second, character, the people who perform the action. Thought, the ideas that are expressed. Fourth, diction, the language that is used. Fifth, melody, music and rhythm. Number six is spectacle, the visual effects and the staging. Interestingly, Aristotle considered plot the most important element. Why? Because stories are driven by actions, not descriptions. According to Aristotle, character reveals who people are, but action reveals what they become. So, plot is greater than character. Lastly, why Aristotle still matters? You might wonder, why should we care about Aristotle today? Because his ideas continue to shape storytelling. All the stories that we hear, that we listen to, that we watch, or that we read. When filmmakers discuss character arcs, they are using Aristotelian ideas. When writers build suspense, they are using Aristotelian ideas. When critics analyze narrative structure, they are using Aristotelian ideas. Even modern theories that reject Aristotle are responding to questions he first asked. In a sense, every literary theorist is having a conversation with Aristotle, whether agreeing with Aristotle or moving away from Aristotle. We can say that Aristotle taught us that literature is more than entertainment. Stories imitate life, characters reveal human nature. Tragedy helps us understand suffering, and great narratives allow us to see ourselves more clearly. More than 2 millennia later, his ideas remain at the heart of literary study.